Hey, morning.
Yes. Thursday morning, to be precise.
Thursday morning, which means Krankenpanzerwagen.
Yeah. We're
Gut.
missing Marley this morning because he's off doing
Yeah.
family things.
Yes, Mr. Marley is on his way to Melbourne.
Yes. Ooh, my beard looks awfully lopsided today.
A lopsided beard. Not a good start. Not a good start.
Yeah. There you go. Ish.
Yeah. How are we?
Oh.
Are we enjoying this good weather?
Yeah. Except my house is east-west facing, so the back of the house is really lovely and warm, but the front of the house is freezing cold, which is what I'm happy on.
I must admit, ours is south facing, so it's pretty good all day.
Yeah. Bugger for being backlit, though, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I have the problem with the window here. But the whole man cave is designed for the desk to be here. There's not a lot of space, so I have to. It's give and take, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what have you been up to?
I've been working this week mainly on a Messerschmitt BF 109G, which is an Edouard kit, which is okay. It's all right. It's one that I do at the face-to-face club session for models for heroes.
Yeah.
So I did some work on it at the face-to-face session on Tuesday, but I don't take paints with me there, so I couldn't do any detail work on the underneath and things like that. So
yeah.
I did a bit of that yesterday, but that was cut short by needs of a grandad nap yesterday afternoon. So there you go.
Did get retired all of a sudden?
Yeah, I do. It's just one of those things. When you've had 2 strokes, suddenly your body goes tired.
Yeah.
But no, I'm feeling good today, so we'll see how we get on.
Excellent. Well, I made a Rubicon Tiger 1.
Oh, yeah, you said.
Because I was bored, so I decided to make that. So I just got to spray that. And that's pretty much all I've done this week. Oh, I've done some detailing stuff on the Model T ready for tomorrow as well.
Oh, right. Yes, wheels on that, I think, tomorrow.
Yes. And I got the mini art wooden barrels and all set.
They're always handy to have. I think I managed to find a 3D print file for some, so I've always got some handy. I've certainly got 40 3D printed fuel cans.
Yeah.
Should I ever need them in 1/35th, but yeah. Good. Yeah. And I've also been doing some background work, most of it this morning before we went live, on the channel and Facebook page for Chairforce Hobbies.
Yes, Chairforce Hobbies now has a Facebook page.
Yes, it does now have a Facebook page. There's nothing in it apart from a welcome message from me. But I'm hoping to get content in there now. Now is the time to push on. Yeah.
And you've been learning a new skill this morning as well.
I have been learning a new skill this morning. I've been using, excuse me. Oh, dear me. Tree pollen. I've been using AI image generation this morning, and I've quite surprised myself. So yeah, watch for some weird and wacky stuff on there.
Do you have the picture up? Did you download the picture in the end?
I haven't downloaded the picture, but
if you download the picture and put it on your screen, we can always share it to show everyone what you came up with.
Can I possibly? Hang on 2 seconds.
Whilst you do that, I'll go through the little bit of chat we got.
Okay.
Because there's not much of it so far. June says first comment, and then he says second. No, that's greedy. Laugh out loud. Morning all. Gary said morning all. We are just finishing up rehearsals. Yeah, I'm wrangling Benji into the shower. Joe says good morning. Good morning, Joe. Tiff says my PC decided it wanted to restart and update. It's obviously done it because look, no hands. Mr. Evans is in. He says good morning, troops. Hello,
morning, Gary.
Jim says, good morning to all the usual suspects in chat, and good morning to our gracious hosts. Hello, Jim. So, we can show you what Gary's been creating this morning. There you go. How cool is that?
I was really amazed at how easy that was to do.
Yeah.
And that was just a test piece. It's not the image one of the images I'm going to use on the channel or anything like that. It was just purely learning this AI image generator, which has blown my mind.
What you could do is download it and then upload it as create a file on the new Facebook page just for AI generated images.
That's a good idea. Let me write that down.
It's more creative work for you to do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. So I will stop streaming that now, sharing that now.
There you go.
I'll come back to you. Yes.
See, you got no shortage of content.
No. And I've got a video to create this over the next couple of days for the F-35, which will go on, which will be the first official video on Chairforce Hobbies YouTube page.
Excellent.
There we go.
Ian says, hello, friends. Hello, Ian. And Jim says, and a pleasant good morning to Benji. Benji's looking like a drowned rat at the minute.
Well, he literally is, because he's literally just come out of the shower. So you will hear Loopy Dog running around like a maniac trying to dry himself off in a minute when he comes out of the bathroom. Unfortunately, he had to be thrown into the bathroom because he didn't want to go in there.
And Tiff says, that looks awesome, Gary.
Thanks, Tiff. It was literally just 5 words came up that. Oh, here we go. A little white drowned rat just run past.
Julie says, good morning, Mikey, and rigging force. Oops, I mean, hi, Gary.
Don't you start, Julian. You've already been at it this morning. I am never, ever, ever doing a sailing ship.
You say that.
I'm not doing a sailing ship.
Should we crack on with this Krankenpanzerwagen?
Yes, let's.
I'm impressed that we caught up with chat in 8.5 minutes.
It's because there's nobody there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's 10 people watching.
Oh, well.
What it is interrupting about politics.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. And Lube and subscribe, people.
Yeah. Jimmy says, hi, Joe, Tiff, Commander Evans, and Jim Stripe Skunk, and Ian. And Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people.
Good day, Duke.
Switch that one off. There we go. Right. You can't see inside mine now because I've covered it all up, ready for spraying.
Oh, right, yeah, I haven't done that yet because I've still got work to do on the top. Now, we were planning on spraying these today, but then we realised, or Mikey realised, that there were still quite a few jobs to do on the top half, I believe. So,
well, we've got loads of stuff that we can stick onto it. That would probably be better doing now rather than after we've sprayed it.
Yeah. Especially
stuff like, rather not the wheels, but stuff like the suspension. The jerry cans and things like that. Yeah.
So the wheels can probably.
Things.
Yeah. So we can do that. But, yes. So
there you go. So
that to one side. That to one side. So we need a whole load of C-33s.
Yes, and a B7 to start with.
And a B7.
And we've got E43 on as well.
Hey, what? B7. Where's B7?
Which is that bit there.
Which stage are you looking at?
Stage 72.
Yes, I'm on the wrong page. That's why it doesn't make sense. B7.
Benji.
Yeah. B7. Oh, I see it. B7. Oh, right.
Yeah, Gary.
It's called Benji's Revenge. Marion got him wet in the shower, so he's decided he'll run all over the top of our bed.
While skidding on his backside and across the pillows.
Oh dear. Right, let's crack on with this. Or let's crank on with this. See what I did
Yes. Yeah. June says, "Good day, Duke." Ian says, "Good day, Duke."
Good day.
Julius, chat caught up in 8.5 minutes because you're not saying STFU, John, every minute. Yeah.
Oh, the poor lad's going to get a complex.
Kerry's in. Yay. Hello, Kerry.
Hello.
I've seen you free.
Yeah. Neither have I. She sees her mother, but she never sees her dad.
Oh, Bechard.
They went out all day yesterday. Mind you, they went shopping, so I'm glad I wasn't with them. But no, she only sees her dad at church on a Sunday now.
Can't blame her. I mean, she still sees you more than I see my dad.
I'm sure there'll be some abuse inbound in a second.
Oh, yeah. Has to be. Oh, this is clever.
She's going to a rave on Saturday night.
Ooh,
with her mum.
Wow.
Marion and Kerry-Ann are going to a Christian rave.
Is that where they stand there and dance while singing Gaudete? Kerry says, "Not my fault you're always in your cave."
Yeah, she'll soon be round in the summer when the bar's open.
You can check out any time you like, but she can never leave.
Yeah. Mind you, she's spending a lot of time at the gym nowadays.
Is she?
Yeah, she's got all fitness.
So is she going to be bench pressing Jake every time he tries to do something silly now?
Oh, God. Don't. Well, then she'd be very busy. Because that boy cannot do anything seriously.
Ooh, that's an awful lot of compression on that piece. Don't like that. That's an unnecessary amount of compression.
Oh shit! What, on the E43?
Yeah, they've done that on a couple of pieces, designed so that they're under tension or compression all the time.
Just trying to see how that. Oh, I see. That drops into that little slot.
Yeah.
I suppose you got to put the do the front bits first, and then drop it down into that. You do put it under a bit of pressure, don't you?
Yeah.
Is there a right and wrong way though? Yes, there is.
It's still under a bit of compression though. Kerry says, "Got my glow sticks ready." Disco.
This little cardboard box.
Mark says, "Hello to the man with the spanner." June says, "Morning, Mark." With the spanner, or technically the man with the spanner is every man other than Julian. The man who has a spanner, on the other hand. Kerry says, I don't drink, so it's not the bar I'm there for. I have to be fit and healthy. Someone in this family needs to be. Hey, I can leg press 150 kilos. I'm a machine. Well, there you go. You can definitely bench press Jake then. Or leg press him anyway. That just means she can kick you all the harder, Gary. Dieter says, good afternoon, good morning, mates and lasses.
Now that's interesting.
What's that, buddy?
Well, that E43
Yes.
is under no pressure whatsoever now. It just drops in nicely.
Weird. So, because it curves one way and not the other, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I've got it in there like that. Like that.
So you've got it so that corner, the top piece is bending downwards, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I've got it the other way around.
And it drops straight in.
Right. See, I did try the other way around. It just didn't seem to sit in there properly for me. Unless it's because I need to cut that little tab off. There you go.
I didn't need to cut anything off at all.
There you go.
Yes, Julian was trying to convince me that I should do sailing ships, but no. Mark Evans is in. Afternoon here already, he says. Afternoon, Mark. Morning, Mark. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Julian says, morning, Hagrid. Hagrid says, at Curry, you're not a TX or a T800 Cyberdyne Systems 101, right? Could be. Julian says, where is here, Mark? I thought you were in the UK. And Kerry Ann says to Hagrid, I have no idea what that means. Julian says, oi, are you calling me a spanner, Mikey? Lol.
No.
Mark says, I was born in Aldershot, 1958, 11th of April.
Hang on a minute. 11th of April's tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Happy birthday for tomorrow, Mark.
If we forget, because I'm crap at stuff like that.
And Hagrid says, Terminator, Rise of the Machines, Kerry Ann. Yes, Kerry Ann's only interested in things like Yellowstone, Game of Thrones, or stuff like that. Tiff says, he said that because you mentioned you're a machine, Kerry. Hagrid says, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that literally says, I'm a machine before he essentially short circuits himself. Opponent was a Terminatrix, aka TX, or Terminatrix. Sounds fruity.
And now you just traumatized your daughter.
Kerry says, oh, lol, I'll be back. Tiff says, also, hello, people, please hit that lube button on your way in. Lube and subscribe. Mark says, but I've lived in Stockholm for years. What a nice part of the world. Hagrid says, yep, that one, Kerry. Alan Fox says, hello, everyone. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan.
Julian says, okay, gotcha, Mark. And so an hour ahead of us. Mark Evans says, hi, lads. And Jim says, the 251 front suspension is identical to the Sd.Kfz 250 I'm working on.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same chassis, I think. Just a different body. C33.
Hagrid says, lube, screwed, and hoot the loop bootin'.
What?
He says he's lube, screwed, and hoot the Luke bootin'. The two.
Nice.
Mark says, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Zagrid says, pre-day birthday greetings, Mark.
Well, there you go.
God, what? And Alan Fox
Alan
says,
said-
and it's my birthday today, so that's 2 of us in 2 days. Haha, happy birthday, Alan.
3 of us in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only the best people are born in April.
Well, I wouldn't go around saying that, Mikey. Jake was born in April, and he's got a big enough head as it is.
Yeah, but you love him and you wouldn't have him any other way.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm a bit gutted. I will be won't be here for his birthday on the 25th because I will be.
Why? You're not planning to it, are you?
I will be at the NEC preparing for Key Model World.
Oh, right. The way you said that, then I thought you were planning something.
Oh no! I've got the end of the month, the last weekend of this month.
Oh, is that the one you're with Steph and John and that?
Steph, John, James Skiffins, and me are doing the M4H thing at Key Model World at the NEC in Birmingham.
Nice. You'll have fun.
It'll be good fun. It'll be a whole weekend of those 3 ripping the proverbial out of me.
Yes, I'm prodding you in the belly again.
Prodding me in the belly and then on the 8th of May, which is the day before I go on a short break, I am in Telford Town Centre with Models for Heroes for VE Day.
Ah, at least your council's allowing it.
Our council, no matter what you think of them, they have a very good armed forces covenant sort of thingy.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Good. So they should.
Well, I suppose I better do these right. What? So it's got to be that round.
Mark says, happy birthday, Alan.
Happy birthday, Alan.
Julian says, happy birthday, Alan. Kerry says, okay, bye, gotta go, get ready, sort mother out. Have a great day, everyone. Okay, see you later, Kerry.
She's taking mother to the dentist's.
Ah. Alan says, thank you. You're welcome. Julian says, tatty bye, Kerry. Gary, you're awfully out of focus.
Am I? That's because...
Yeah. Dieter says, fun moment when the TX arrives. The mimics a woman, drives by a billboard when a cop stops her. Billboard shows one with larger chest than hers while the cop approaches. Zoom in on the TX chest. Okay. Oh, yeah, it grows, doesn't it? What I remember.
It's not something I would be inclined to look at. So.
Yeah, whatever. It's a part to show their adaptability, isn't it? Tiff's put Chairfuss Hobbies YouTube channel up. Yes, he also has a Facebook page now. Dieter says, who expands to the same size. There we go. Mark says, hee perfect Swedish Dieter. Jim says, have a great afternoon, Kerry. Dieter, happy birthday, Uncle Al.
Yeah, she's been very busy this week, but she's spending the afternoon with Jake. She's had a lot going on this week, so
yeah,
nothing bad, all good.
Junior says, Constable Crabtree, contagious Hagrid.
It was pissing past your window.
Tiff put her YouTube channel in, Dark Side Scale Modelling. Dieter says, oi, I'm born in December and I feel pretty best. Well, if you feel pretty, that's all more power to you, mate.
Pretty. Oh no, I can't sing. I'm doing the Marley already.
Gary says, I agree. The RAF regiment was born in April 1st, by any chance.
Now, the Royal Air Force was April the 1st.
Yeah. Jim says, a certain nasty man with a square moustache was also born in April. Yeah. We don't, us April people don't talk about him.
There's always one.
Yeah. Every family has to have a bad apple. Lisa says, lube, like, subscribe, Luke button, like button, in case lube was not clear enough for. Haha. June says, the RAF was created 1st of April 1918. I assume the RAF regiment was created the same day, Commander. No. The RAF regiment wasn't created or two.
Yeah. Didn't come into effect. So I think it was it 1941?
Yeah, because they realised that it was a really stupid idea to have all your ground crews trying to also defend the airbase. Trying to defend airfields. Why not get a group of infantry lads to do it for them? Rather than either getting your ground crew to do it or getting the army in to do it.
I believe it was one of Churchill's ideas.
Yeah. He had a few of them.
Yes.
Some good, some not so good. Some bloody right awful.
Depending on how much brandy he'd had that morning.
Yes. Alan says, thanks, everyone.
Pleasure, Alan.
Yes. Julian says, we gloss over that, Jim. There's an exception to every rule. There is indeed.
Bloody hell, I've done something right.
Tiff put Mr. Evans' YouTube channel in. Thank you, Tiff. Dieter says, no crab trees were harmed making the lube. Very good. Julian says, laugh aloud reminds me of watching Terminator 2 on DVD with Dad. Building blew up with a smoke and flame everywhere. Dad said, I told you I could smell gas. Dieter says, my younger brother shares his birthday with Mikey, but with a few more years on the counter for the former. Yes. I'm only young. Alan says, I believe the Royal Flying Corps was formed in April too. Probably was.
But what about the Women's Royal Auxiliary Bloom Corps?
Yeah. Tiff's put Scale Modeling Twins YouTube channel in. And Gary says, history lesson. Actually, the RAF regiment was formed in 1st of February 1942, but for administrative purposes, this was set to the 1st of April to align with the RAF itself. Here we go. Now we know. Phil says, morning all. Good morning, Phil. June says, H words. Yeah, I think it was his cousin served in the US Army, leveling up the family reputation just a bit. Yeah. He had to, I believe he had to change his name once the war started.
I would imagine he would.
Yeah.
And probably
Can't imagine it'd be too
quiet.
Yeah. Right. Should be 6. Oh, 5. Oh, Benji's at it again.
Yeah, he's now gone out to vent his spleen at the world. B7. Missed.
I just realised the rubber bands come off the cap. I have a rubber band on the cap.
Yeah, I was going to say, you use the rubber band method, do you?
Yes. Because it means I can open the bottle with one hand.
Yeah.
See, I could just do that.
You can just do that. Just like that.
Jim says, Julian, that was my attempt to be fair and balanced in terms of April birthdays. Very good. Oh, KZ.
So Hagrid says WAF was founded for the first time in 1918 but it was officially created on June the 28th, 1939. Conscription did not happen until after December 1941. There you go. What happened in 1941? 1942? The RFC was created on the 13th of April 1912, but the WAF was created on the 28th of June 1939. That's Julian. And Hagrid said, and the WAAC dates back to March 1917.
There you go.
Full of information. George is in. Morning all, he says, or hello all. Hello, George.
So something I was thinking about last night, that anyone who's read my channel Facebook page will know this because I posted it last night on there. But something I was thinking about last night is, you think of all the videos and books and stuff we've got about World War I, right? If you go back through their research that they've done to create whatever it was, the book or the film, it all boils back down to the first-hand accounts and letters and things like that between soldiers and their families and things. But if that had happened, if the war had happened a generation or two earlier, that wouldn't have happened, and we wouldn't have all the information we have about the ordinary soldiers' lives, because it wasn't until 1880 that education was made compulsory and free in the UK. It wasn't until 1920 that it was done in Germany. It wasn't until 1914 in Belgium, 1982 in France.
1982?
Yeah, sorry, 1882 in France.
I was going to say, bloody hell.
Yeah. And whilst in America, Massachusetts made school compulsory for at least 3 months a year between the ages of 5 and 14 in 1852. It wasn't until 1914 that it became compulsory across the whole United States to have full-time education for children. So if it happened a generation earlier, because the wartime generation were the most literate generation ever in human history. So, for example, in 1815, the literacy rate of males in the UK was about 40%, and for females, it was about 20%. 100 years later, in 1915, the literacy rate was 98%, around 98% for both.
Amazing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. What a difference that makes. And they had a really cool system in the UK, because what happened was, because the classes were so big, because obviously they didn't have many teachers at the time, they'd have classes of like 300 kids.
Oh my God.
And what they would do is they'd start them off on the front benches right in front of the teacher when they were 5 years old, and they'd have like little sand tables that they practiced with either a stick or their finger, drawing the shapes of the letters in.
Right.
Then once they'd mastered that, they'd move back a bench and do it with slate or whatever. And then eventually they'd work their way back until they're doing it with ink and paper.
Oh, wow.
But what they'd do is, so that one teacher could keep control of the whole class, was the older children could do half their time learning and half their time teaching the other children below them. So that's where the term classroom monitors came from. They were the older children that taught the younger children on behalf of the teacher, and the teacher sort of guided the whole class. And then what that meant, if they agreed to do that, they could stay on at school past 10 years old, and then they could become a teacher's assistant, and then eventually become a teacher. And that then would make them go from the sort of lower class up to the working class, and then up to the middle class. So they literally bring their entire family property if they stayed on for a couple more years.
Wow.
And that's why we ended up, developing so rapidly during the Industrial Revolution. That
cool. Julian says the US lagged behind us. The US WAAC was created on the 15th of May 1942. Yeah, well, it's quite interesting because if you look at the armed forces of America, there was hardly, size-wise, they were tiny up until just before the Second World War.
Yeah,
they literally had virtually no air force.
Well, they had the Army Air Corps, didn't they? Rather than
the Army Air Corps, but it wasn't particularly big, and the jump they took during the war years was absolutely massive.
Yeah. There you go. Women's Auxiliary Balloon.
Go on.
The Women Army Auxiliary Corps, not the Women's Army Balloon Corps, was transformed in 1918 to the Queen Mary AAC until September 1921, when it was disbanded. There we go. Yeah. Alan says, talking about women, I've been reading a lot about the Air Transport Auxiliary, who were women who flew World War II fighters and bombers to where they were needed. These ladies were men. Yeah, they were. Because whereas the blokes maybe might fly 2 or 3 Spitfires or 2 or 3 different fighters or 2 or 3 different bombers, if they were lucky, they would be flying like 3 or 4 different ones a day. And literally their training was, here's the manual for the aircraft, go and sit in the cockpit for an hour and learn the controls, then fly it.
Yeah. In fact, one of the last Air Transport Auxiliary pilots died recently.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who I was out in Italy with when she was a corporal, she's now the station warrant officer at St Morgan.
Yeah.
She was very close to her.
Wow.
Julian says the Wrens were created in 1917, disbanded after World War I, and then reformed in 1939.
Yeah. There you go.
Hagrid
So
says,
basically, Dieter and Julian trying to have a competition by who can count.
Who can research the most, the quickest. The Wrens date back to 1917, first conscription October the 10th, 1918, and disbanded less than a year later. They were reformed in 1939 and have been in service ever since until 1993, where they merged into the Royal Navy.
Do you ever get the impression it's my knowledge is bigger than your knowledge competition?
Kevin's in. Morning, Kevin. Says good day, everyone.
Hello, Kevin.
And Julian says, P1 they were indeed, Alan. There was a row at one point when the RAF complained about the lack of aircraft for Malta. The ATA commandant pointed out that pilots were not given instrument training. P2 so couldn't fly in the dark. A ridiculous state of affairs, in my honest opinion. Well, the whole Malta situation in the Second World War was a disastrous state of affairs until Keith Park got over there.
Well, the thing is, as well, is you got to remember that the females were classed as non-combatants back then, so they weren't allowed to be armed either.
Yeah.
So they were given specific routes that they had to fly. They weren't allowed to go too close to Biggin Hill and things like that.
Yeah.
Or too close to the channel and things.
Malta is a passion of mine. Malta in the Second World War. Hagrid says,
like from
hush, Mikey, Julie and I are having an adult debate, lol.
No, you're not. You're having a pissing contest.
Julian says, adult? How very dare you, Hagrid. Right. I've got one side of my running gear all done. What are you laughing at?
That.
Hagrid says, I win.
Do you know what the strange thing is? Talk about literacy and that. Then, do you know what one of the strangest things was when they started doing the literacy surveys in Wales? Almost every single person in Wales was literate, as in they could read and write the Welsh language and things.
Yeah.
But because they couldn't read and write English, the English classed them as illiterate. Unless they could read and write the English language.
Yeah, it's just that stupid class system again, isn't it? And
yeah.
Christ,
they're actually
giving women the vote next.
Well, in Wales, the beginning of the 19th century, they're actually far more literate than what the English were. It's just they didn't read and write English. Because obviously most English people didn't understand the Welsh language and couldn't see any, vowels and consonants, even if they could, or couldn't see many vowels, even if they could read and write English. Yeah. They were just writing gibberish.
That would be equivalent, though, to saying the French are illiterate and the Germans are illiterate because they don't write in English. That's absolute horse, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah. Although it did prove very useful in courts when it came to avoiding justice in the courts. Because
yes, I believe you said before.
Yeah. Because the judges and barristers had to be, or the judges were all English, and the barristers had to be able to read and write and speak English. So most barristers couldn't speak, or almost all the barristers couldn't speak Welsh, or those that could were obviously the ones that were drafted in, and they didn't particularly like English rule anyway. So what they would do is the defendants would speak in Welsh, so the judge didn't know what they were saying, and they would sort of pass the evidence between themselves and the jury, not letting the judge know, and then they would just automatically find the person innocent, and then go down the pub and deal with it themselves, so that they didn't get sent to prison or deported.
Yeah.
They just go take them out the back of the pub and give them a good hiding.
Bit of contact counselling.
Yeah. Full contact counselling. Love it. Oh, Julian's continuing the...
oh, is he?
Bigger than your knowledge.
Julian says, established by the War Office through a royal warrant in March 1902, the unit started out as the Queen Alexandra's Imperial Military Nursing Service. Queens. And then some Hagrid. Oh dear.
Of course,
this is going to go on for a long time, isn't it?
The Queen Alexandra Royal Army Nursing Corps no longer exists.
No.
As of last year. Neither does the Royal Army Medical Corps.
No.
Because they now all come under the Royal Army Medical Services.
Yeah. It all changed, didn't it, last year?
Yeah. much to the people, veterans' annoyance.
Well,
thing is, there's a lot of pride associated with your cap badge and stuff. But
yeah,
imagine how you feel. Someone who'd served as a combat medic in Afghanistan, Iraq, or Korea or whatever. Then being lumped in with the guys that are doing the dentistry back in the UK under the same cap badge.
Yeah. But at the risk of going full Marley on us, the bean counters in the government don't care about that.
Yeah, they don't care and they don't understand about it, do they? Because most of them have never done anything like worthwhile.
No.
At the risk of going full Marley. Never go full Marley.
Never go full Marley. My God. My God, man.
Ooh, actually, looks like it goes the other way up.
Skipper, he's gone full Marley.
Dear God. We are going to give the whole lot of complex, aren't we?
I do have a... Yeah. Now that is not sitting like the other one is. Nope, should sit like that.
What's that?
All right, I'm just doing the doobries. Use a technical term.
Yeah, man.
All the lumps and bumps and...
Yeah. There you go. Dieter says, tuss, Julian. The competition is over. Let's get back to the tackle and the quality of the chat. Absolutely. Julian, you mean degrading the tone of the chat, Hagrid?
He means let's get back to talking bollocks.
Jim says, Mikey, you mean there was a Royal Dental Hygienist Corps with the British Army? I believe there was a Royal... I can't remember what they came under, to be honest. But the Royal Army Medical Corps covered stuff like combat medics and doctors and things, and surgeons.
There was a veterinary corps as well.
Yeah. That now comes under the same Royal Army Medical Services, doesn't it? I think.
I don't know, because it used to be, their headquarters used to be at Melton Mowbray.
I
don't know whether it still is, but I'm sure one of the
when
two...
they put the whole pies.
Eh?
So when
they make pork pies, yeah. I like a pork pie.
Yeah, it was the Royal Army Dental Corps.
Yeah.
It was founded in 1921. Can you imagine saying to your grandkids, what did you do during the war? I fixed teeth.
Julian says, Mikey, how does it affect a military pension if they were disbanded, if they disband the unit you served in? I'm assuming it wouldn't. That's a good question.
No, it doesn't. Because it happens all the time with the army. What they do is they keep the record of your service for 100 years. And that will always have your regiment or corps on at the time of enlistment and time of discharge. So but what they do for your pension is they go off your army service number, because every soldier has their own personal service number that doesn't get issued to anyone else. So they go off that for pensions rather than the corps or regiment. because especially with the infantry, they amalgamate quite a lot.
And your service number stays with you for your whole life. I still remember mine now. But one of the only things I can remember.
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Even when veterans have got dementia and stuff, they still tend to remember the service number, but they forget their family. It's weird.
Yeah.
Next.
Hagrid says,
well, go on.
Well, we will impact the quality, that Julian, one way or the other, won't we? Hey, look, it's all about history and modelling and things like that. So,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. It's all informative.
Yes.
Julian says, well, that's all rigging, Gary. Don't talk to me about rigging.
You talked to him about Volks, so.
Matthew's in. Morning all. Morning, Matthew.
Hello, Matthew.
Jim says, Lemming of the RADC. I like the ring of that. There was a one-off drama, comedy drama thing put on about two dental technicians in the army in the Second World War, who were based in England, who went across to, wanted to see some action, and they went across to France before D-Day. It's all fictitious, and had a little bit of fun and games over there. I'm trying to think who was in it. I'll try it. I'll put it to our researchers.
Yeah,
I think it was done by ITV. Hagrid says, Julian, you are rigging the chat now. Excuse me.
It gets worse, doesn't it?
I know.
Ooh, coffee.
No coffee. In fact, I'm limiting my coffee at the moment. So. Can we caught up with chat again?
Wow. Go you, Gary. B12, B16.
Look at that. Look at that. B12, B16.
Yeah.
I've done all them. Done that. B6. Done B9 and B8. B12 and B16, yeah. Stage 84. Well, they're conveniently close to each other.
Yes, they are.
Just getting instructions.
This is how you shall do this. I'm impressed we've still got 15 people watching.
I'm amazed when we've got people watching.
I'm amazed we've had people watching for months.
Yeah, I don't know how we got away with it.
I know, right? I mean, we have lost a few subscribers, but along the way, but hey,
you will.
Yeah, it fluctuates. It's staying at about 609 at the minute.
See, some of those could be gifted subscriptions.
Yeah, well, you don't gift a subscription; you gift memberships.
Yeah.
So the memberships have dropped from 30 down to 24.
Hell, if I looked at the bloody instructions. Ooh, that's a bit freaky. Run that by me again. So that bit goes like. What?
What's up, my dude?
Oh, so I had it upside down. All makes sense when you stick it in the right way, as she said.
Duke said, "Oh, just mute set whilst Benji's barking, Gary."
Hang on.
Duke says, "I'll have to watch because I like to watch." Very good. Yes.
It's a bugger. Every time I went to unmute, he barked again.
Should have an update on the should have
Sorry?
an update on should have an update on the competition soon as well, because there's going to be some changes to it.
Ooh, changes already. Ooh.
Yes. But I'll announce them when I've done my due diligence. Right. E25. You sunk my battleship.
Okay. All right. Bye. Have fun.
Did you say she's just going to shoot the dog?
She's hung the towels out. She's off to see the dentist now.
Oh, I thought she said she's about to shoot the dog. This is where we hear a massive thud now, and you go, Benji! Mate!
Benji, my Benji, where have you gone?
Benji.
Hello. He's still in drowned rat mode. But he needed a bath because he stunk. Oh, wait, shut up.
Jim says, "Good day, Duke. How goes it in Ausland?" Jim says, "Sorry, had to mute the chat for a phone call. Missed Mikey's reply about the pension, so I'll watch this bit back." What I said was, it wouldn't affect the pension because regiments and corps amalgamate. Well, corps don't amalgamate with regiments. Corps amalgamate, and regiment amalgamates. But especially with the infantry, they amalgamate quite a lot. So the pensions go off the person's service number rather than what corps or regiment they served in. Not least because it's irrelevant. As long as you're the same rank, you'll still get the same pension. As long as you did the same amount of time at the same rank as somebody else at the same time, then you'll get the same pension, regardless of the rest of the cap badge. The RAF, on the other hand, just get a gold-plated pension the minute they leave.
You have to do 12 years in the RAF. Well, you used to. I don't know what it is now. You used to have to do at least 12 years to get a pension.
Now it's 2 bin collections and
nice.
TBG says, "Hi everyone." Hello, TBG.
TBG, hello.
Drew says, "No, Hagrid. It was a convo I had with Gary on Discord about his love of rigging or not. More not, to be honest."
Yeah, it's definitely not. Never going to happen. I've said in the past, many things are never going to happen, and then I've found myself doing them. But that is one thing that will never happen.
You know, that just makes John more determined to get you doing a ship, right?
It won't happen. No, it won't happen. We know what happened the last time I tried to do a shippy type thing.
Yes.
I was punished by the gods.
True. And you couldn't take that more than once, could you? You were lucky that time.
Bloody hell, yeah.
I mean, if you'd had your wallet on there, you'd been buggered.
I had to spend some money yesterday.
Ooh. Did they have to pry it out of your cold, dead, lifeless hands?
Well, it was the money I won at the horse races in October. It was still in my
Which
wallet.
just proves my point.
It was still in my wallet. But I went to Hobbycraft to purchase my model for the competition.
Yeah.
And because I'd got £5 birthday voucher as well.
Ooh.
Presented the voucher on my phone.
Yes.
At the till to find it was last year's voucher, not this year's. I don't know what I've done with this year's. And ended up paying full price for the model. But never mind, I've got it. And I'm also having another model delivered today, which is for a future 3 veterans build.
Yay.
So that
in fact, it's the one after this one.
Yes, it will remain top secret.
Yes.
Just
like
Blackadder.
Top secret drum corps.
Top secret Blackadder.
Yes. Jim says, greetings, TBG. Julian says, hi, TBG.
Hey,
Hiya. Duke says, it's starting to get cold here, Jim. It's only 23 degrees during the day and 7 degrees overnight. I'm going to freeze if this keeps up.
It's going the other way here, Duke.
Yeah. Evans says, got my first Warhammer set and my first Gundam figure. What else should I try to build?
This shocked me when I saw this morning on the Discord. I thought, what has the world come to? Commander Evans has gone to Warhammer.
I think.
And now I find out not only has he gone to Warhammer, he's got a Gundam figure as well.
I think he should have a go at doing a train. Because I think he'd quite enjoy that.
And I did watch Gary's F-35 build today. That looks like a nice kit from Revel.
Yeah. Shame it's not on the market yet, isn't it, Gary? Haha.
I've got an F-35, a Meng one, so that'll be far more complicated.
That's what Gary should do. He should do a World War I tank. So I don't think I've seen him make any tanks yet, other than the click together.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm sure he did the Sherman Firefly for the 48.
Yeah, he did.
Did a bloody good job of it as well.
He did. But I think he should do a World War I tank.
Yes, strictly speaking, I've done a World War I tank.
Yes, you've done the Whippet, haven't you?
Done the Whippet.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, I have yet to do a World War I tank myself.
Well, I think we're planning to do one at some point in the future. I shall check now. 2 seconds. I have it on a top secret.
You have it on a
list.
plan. See, not only do we do rehearsals, folks, we have plans as well.
Yes.
Anyway, we work hard to make it think like this, make you think it's all thrown together at lastminute.com. But no, a lot of rehearsal and planning goes into this.
We've got the next 3 veterans builds planned, but we haven't got a World War I tank. So what we can do is we can do that after those 2.
Or if we want Gary to do it as well, we could do it after a 4 the next planned 4 veteran builds.
Yeah.
How many 4 veteran builds have we got planned? We've got the one we're doing.
Yeah, and one after that.
One after that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if Gary's up for doing a world, I'd make it one of the cheap kits. But
that'll give me time to pick one up at Key Model World. Because you can't go to a show and come back empty-handed. It's against the law.
Well, yeah.
Oh, right. So I'm done. Yeah. I was just stretching my back out. I've done stage 85 now.
I thought you'd like fallen off your chair or something then.
No. I was just stretching my back out. That's all. Nothing to write home about, dear.
Nothing dramatic. TBG says, hi, Jim and Julian. Ooh, quite a lot to catch up on. Julian, Mikey, Gary will do a floaty thing, a 135 rowing boat. Laugh out loud.
The only floaty thing you'll see me do will be a stealth floaty thing.
Do you know what I think would be a funny build, Gary? For a laugh. On a Monday or something.
Oh, God.
Doing the Airfix UFO.
Well, that's a 3D print, isn't it? So
yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
But Gary's already done that.
Has he?
Yeah.
I know Nuno has.
Yeah, I'm sure Gary Evans has done it.
I know Nuno has.
I have downloaded the files.
Yeah. Jim says, Duke, keep warm, mate. Your temperatures are still warmer than us. Probably warmer than most people's core body temperatures. TBG says, careful, you're going down a rabbit hole, Gary stuff.
See, I like some of the Warhammer vehicle things that they do.
Yeah. See, I like the idea of doing Warhammer because I like some of the designs, but I'm just not prepared to pay the prices.
No,
I just can't justify it to myself.
I'd had to. As I said earlier, I was in Hobbycraft yesterday, and they now do Warhammer stuff, and they had Citadel paint pots in there. £8 for a pot of Citadel paint. No, thank you.
No.
Have we read that one out? Julian says, a sailing ship, Commander Evans. Note to self, works on both Garys. Doesn't work on me, Julian.
You say that?
A Dapol train?
Yeah.
We've done a Dapol train. We could do another one in the future.
Yeah. We like the Dapol trains, don't we, Gary?
Yeah.
See? And you said you wouldn't.
DBG says Waitrose does Warhammer.
Yeah.
Alan says, Gary on Warhammer, this is a sign of the apocalypse, surely.
It sounds like a really bizarre porn film.
Waitrose on Warhammer.
No, Waitrose does Warhammer. Like Debbie does Dallas.
I don't know anything about those sort of films.
No, of course not. They didn't have computers when you were young.
We didn't do things like that in the Air Force. Jim says, gun damn it, God, Commander Evans. Luke says, lol, Jim. Gary says, the F-35A should be available now. It's about £30.
There you go.
Julian says, I think it's mentioned in Revelations, Alan, right after the plague of locusts. Alan laughs. Ha ha. Ha ha. The Boldly Go says, plague of wine waiters at Julian Hall. Jim says, Gary Morris plans. They are cunning plans. They are more cunning than Mr. Fox, who's been at the University of Cunningness studying cunning.
Yes.
Jim says, the best laid plans of mice and men are all filed away somewhere.
I like that book.
Matthew says, would like to see Gary's stuff do a Star Wars model kit. I'd like to do a Star Wars model kit, actually. I'd like to do some sci-fi.
Yeah.
I've got my 3D printable Space 1999 Eagle to do. Skiffins is in. Morning, all. Morning, James.
Hello, Skippers. How the devil are you, old boy?
Yes. Dean says hi, Matthew. Yeah, I've always fancied doing a war. Bloody hell, you got me doing it now. A Star Wars kit. Not the premium grade Millennium Falcon.
No.
At 300 and something quid and thousands of parts.
Yeah.
I might one day do a Lego one, actually.
What you could do is see if there's any figures or something on Cult 3D or something.
Yeah.
Just print yourself one.
Julian says, afternoon, James. Tiff says, morning, Skiffers. TBG says he could do a big boy.
You could.
Duke says, Jim, I'm going to stop wearing shorts soon. I hope you're going to wear something in their place, though. Julian says, yeah. TBG, there are specialist websites for that. Oh, the train. Gotcha. Gary says to Matthew, I did a couple maybe 3 years ago. Might revisit them, though. TBG says, that's a loco, by the way, lol. Model Officer says, forget Citadel, buy two thin coats. Yes, I have used some of the two thin coat stuff, and it is very good.
Never used it. Never tried it.
Yeah. George says, £8. They're normally half that. No, they were £8.
I've just started using AK Real Colour 3rd Gen paints.
They're very nice. AK Real Colour paints are nice. And of course, the current love of my life is the AK marker pens.
Yeah.
Matthew says, oh, thank you, Gary. I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Jim says, greetings, Mr. Skiffins. James says, hi, Jim, Julian Tiffers, and any and all.
Hello, James.
Jim says, to Duke, hang in there, mate. Keep those short pants handy. Never know when the weather will turn. Yes, I should be breaking into shorts soon.
Scary.
Literally breaking into them.
It's breaking out of them. Worry about.
Busting out all over.
These fitted me last year.
Do you know what? Last year when I tried them on, they were too big for me.
I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen to me this year because I've lost nearly 2 stone since last year. But that's cool because I don't mind biking shorts.
Of course, if you're anyone like AD Embley, you never stop wearing shorts.
Well, yeah. I mean, he wears denim cut-offs and everything.
I'm sure he's a closet postman. Right. I think we've got nothing else.
Julian says, "Oh, what you haven't done, Mikey, is bust or figure that needs assembly painting. I have done one. I just haven't done one on camera."
Julian, funny you should mention that because somewhere I've got my Battle of Britain Spitfire pilot in 1/9 scale.
Do you know? I've got World War One. I've got World War One bust to do. In fact, I've got a couple. And I've got a sniper, Russian female sniper.
Yeah, I fancy doing that one as a model. I'm quickly throwing in there. James says, I'm at work and missing the workbench, which in fairness is under boxes of kits. Steady on, old boy. And James says, oh, Gary falling out of his shorts. And then
With it
a different-
shortly before.
Duke says, Jim, it's going to be warm and cold randomly for the next couple of months, then absolutely freezing at 15 degrees during the day. 15 degrees is not absolutely freezing. And during the day, and
Acclimatized to it, doesn't it?
Hey?
Depends if you're acclimatized to it, doesn't it? If you spend your life living in the snow,
is the
10 degrees.
height of summer in this country.
Yeah, pretty much.
-2 overnight's a bit nippy, though.
Well, it depends if you're outside or not, doesn't it?
Right. Julian says, Dad always... Go on then, you go, because I'm...
Okay. Dad always knew what the weather was like when we lived at home. The Valley's saying was, if you can see the other side, it's about to rain. If you can't see it, it's already raining. Yeah.
See, out in Italy, we had a weather rock. If it was moving, it was windy. If it was hot to the touch, it was sunny. If it was wet, it was raining. It never went white.
One of the strangest experiences I've ever had is when I went adventure training in Capel and we were stood on one side of the mountain doing hill walking and mountain climbing, and we looked over at the other side of the valley and we could literally see this big blanket of cloud. It wasn't that thick, but you could literally see like a sheet of cloud coming along the top of the opposite hill and literally rolling down the side of it, clinging to the side of it, rolling down, and then filling the valley underneath.
Did you say, oh, sheet of cloud?
No, we went, oh, sheet, the other guys are on there. Because three of the guys have decided to go wandering off on their own because they thought they knew better route. And then we heard over the radio that they were on the other side, and now they were in a whiteout.
Whiteout!
We were like, oh, how sad, never mind. Serves you right. June says, Mikey, I meant as a buddy build, not you personally. Yeah, that's because there's not much to build on a Buster. You sort of clean it up, paint it, and then, clean up, stick together and paint it. In terms of building, you have it done in an hour. June says, if the rock was white, snowing, rock, missing, hurricane. Yeah.
Unfortunately, where I was in southern Italy, they don't get any snow.
It's 28.
Well, that's an interesting situation to get yourself into. Why doesn't that fit?
Why doesn't what fit?
E12, it does if you... Right. E12 is a bit of a fiddle to get in.
Too far. There.
It looks straightforward, but it does put up a little bit of a fight.
E12, where are you looking?
E12. It's a tiny little on the underside of the hull. It does go eventually, but you would think, it just drops in that little slot, and then there's a little hole for the protrusion. James says that's what she...
Go on.
James says that's what she said, Gary.
Oh, this is fun.
So right. Even without Marley here, we can stuff it up between ourselves.
Well, at least you don't get told off for messing around and doing stuff like that. It's all part of the fun.
Right, now, next one. Oh my goodness me. I'm making fuel cans.
Yeah, man.
But I don't have to make them if I don't want to, because I have got some resin ones.
Ooh.
Let me have a look.
Is you going all
Well, no, in the interests. See, in here, I will show. That's
June says, reference 3D printing Star Wars. Here are some STL files on Thingiverse.
Yeah.
There you go. Stick them in the recommended purchases, Julian. Jim says, one of my favourite sights on early morning cycling rides is the mist gathered in valleys amongst the rolling hills and farm country that I ride through. It's a man's life in Kendall County. Skiffin says, well, I'm going to love you and leave you as I really should be working. Yes, you should. Those trains won't ticket themselves.
Yeah. 3D printed jerry cans. What I'm going to do, out of interest, I'm going to build one of the jerry cans and do a side-by-side comparison.
Ooh.
Then I will realise how crap my 3D printer is. Talking of which, have you bought your 3D printer yet, Mr. Evans?
He's just forked out for bloody Warhammer. He can't afford a 3D printer now.
Yeah.
Probably paid about the same price.
Do you know what? H26, H27.
What the hell?
What's up?
Right, that's supposed to go in there. That. Oh, frig off.
Interesting.
There you go. Right, and then that goes in there like that. Gary Stuff says, no printer yet, still trying to blag one.
Oh, good attempt. If you're going to get one, blag one. Got to go and
what I should say to him, Gary, is I am but a poor YouTuber. I've just paid out for one Warhammer kit. Therefore, I can no longer afford a mortgage.
I am but a humble YouTuber.
Yes.
Union says, got to go and get fed. Also, Kara here. The two are not connected. I think I'll use the... I'm going to use the 3D printed ones.
Oh, well,
get me. Get me, eh? How many do I need? How many do I need? Two, I think.
They go on the back doors.
Yeah.
Shitting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what?
Have I got one already disassembled? Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Disassembled. No, disassemble.
Ah, Stephanie. Johnny Five is alive. What a film.
It is a great film, isn't it? There's a guy not far from me. He built a life-size replica, and he takes it to different, when like care homes have shows and stuff like
that. Yeah.
He takes him to places like that and like local shows and stuff to help raise money for charity. He made a radio-controlled one, so he drives it around the show with a little bucket and things. I just dropped a ball of blue tack. There it is.
I can officially say I've used some aftermarket on this.
Ooh. Oh, Gary's got his vibrator out. That's B. That's frame B. I don't need frame B. I need frame A. You stupid boy.
Stupid boy.
I do wish they'd look at putting, the similar parts of the build together on the same frame.
Yeah, I get annoyed with kit manufacturers. Some kit manufacturers have gone to virtually doing that now. So if you're building the engine, all the engine parts are on one frame.
Yeah.
But majority of the kit manufacturers nowadays, and I know it's why they do it, it's to make the best use of the space available on the frame.
Yeah.
So I do understand it, but it's bloody annoying when you've got to constantly
switch between them.
Yeah. So there we are.
We've got loads of parts to put on, like the outside of this. All these parts could have been put on one frame because they're all small parts.
Yeah.
Instead of switching between 3 or 4 different frames all the time. Oops.
Ooh, where's me back doors?
You were, missus.
I haven't put my back doors on yet. For now.
I have. They don't quite fit.
Well,
one's larger than the other.
Were.
Yes.
I think I've got to drill some holes anyway.
One fits pretty much perfect, and the other's a little bit small. So what I've done is just put a little bit of blue tack around the outside, just so they stick in the right place. The one that's slightly too big sticks in it in the right place. Or at least that was the theory, anyway.
That was the theorem behind it, was it?
Not necessarily the working principle, though.
There's a guy who works in the chip shop, swears he does. What?
There you go. Jim says Tackman and Border are guilty of putting parts on certain assembly on different frames. Bloody annoying, yeah. Kaylee says, Mikey, fancy a trip out? Not particularly. I'm busy.
Oh. Oh.
Fully enough, I feel the need to spend money all the time.
The question is,
although,
are there 2 sets of rear doors? There bloody is.
There is, isn't there?
I've just cut the wrong ones off. Booger. I'm glad I noticed that before I went any further.
What, like me?
How are we doing for time? Oh, 1 hour 30.
Yeah, loads of time. Yeah. However, I've got a feeling where she wants to go is just down the road from my favourite model shop.
So it could work in your favour.
It could. But the question is, do I need any more models? Because I'm struggling to find space.
That's a stupid question. Of course you do.
Oops. That means I've got to drive all the way to bloody Broughton again. It's a hard life.
That's what Pete said.
Oh, the range. She wants to go to the range. Okay.
Well, yeah, you can get modelling supplies in there.
Well, actually, the modelling stuff is in Charlie's by us. The range
Yeah,
isn't really.
someone was talking at our face-to-face group this week that she'd been over to Charlie's and they had a load of Airfix kits over there.
Yeah, they do quite a few Airfix kits.
But
the real, which raises the question: do I want any more Airfix kits?
Well, you've just got the Lysander, haven't you?
Well, yeah, exactly.
You lucky boy.
Yes. H34 and H33. Well, hang on. So which ones were you about to cut off then?
I cut off the ones that don't have the
dots on the outside.
Yeah, there's two. The one's just got the 3 dots in the middle.
Yeah,
and not the square part, which is important to what we're going to do. And the other ones are just blank. And I cut the blank ones off, but we need these ones to get the water, the jerry cans on.
both of them might have got them on.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't tell me
Both
there's
sets.
3 sets of back doors. No.
No, 2 sets. They both got the same dots on. It's just the dots are smaller on one than the other.
Now, if you look at the difference between, hold on, let's see if I can focus this.
The sizes are different, aren't they?
Let's see if I can get the. Right, it doesn't show up very well, but that's the one we need because it's got those 4 lugs.
Oh yeah,
And that's the other one.
so I've put the right one on there. You big lug. Andy Wilson, hello Andy, says,
Hi, Andy.
what's a Charlie?
Charlie is a sort of, wow, how can you describe Charlie's, man?
Well, it's sort of a herb wrapped in paper.
Not that sort of Charlie, you dickhead.
Charlie is it's like a country store thing.
Yeah.
So you can get all sorts of stuff. You can get model kits there. You can get out riding equipment and things like that. Gardening equipment and things like that.
Yeah. I think they're in Shropshire and North Wales and places like that. I don't know where else they are. We've got one at Shrewsbury, which is
Shrewsbury. Yeah. Ours is right next door to the range.
Oh, you see? It's calling you. It's going,
which is about 15 minutes away from Hobbycraft and my favourite modelling shop.
Only hobbies.
Nigel says, Mikey, do you need more models? If you're breathing, you need more models.
Well said, Nigel. Couldn't agree with that man more.
My wife said, don't encourage him.
I can say what I like. Marion's gone out.
Yeah. Andy says, something northern, I guess. Well, it depends what you mean by northern. Yeah. I mean, I'm in North Wales, but yeah.
Midlands, North Wales, yeah.
Yeah. Saying that, anything north of the M4 is north in Wales. Kaylee says, I owe you a paint rack. That's true. She does. I need another paint rack.
That woman is desperately trying to get you to go out this afternoon.
She is. Jim says, I have approximately 90 unbuilt kits, some of which I'm determined to build. Adding more is not a wise move for me. This doesn't mean I will not add to the stash. Yeah, see, I think I've got over 100. But it's at the point now where I got nowhere left in this room to actually store them. I'm having to put them on because we've got an old pine ottoman as a coffee table in the living room. Just put a cloth over it. So I've had to start storing them in there and in the shelves in the living room as well.
You don't need a bedside cabinet or something, do you? Because you could stack them up and put a cloth over that, and then they could become your bedside cabinet.
It might be a bit shaky, like.
It'll go up and down in size as you get more and more acquisitions.
Yeah. Jim also says, Charlie, everyone knows Charlie. He's got a bad case of ingrown heel and walks like this. Oh, dear. Dear. We're looking for someone they call Charlie, which is a bit hard. No one seemed to know where he was. Page 35.
But I'll tell you this, he doesn't surf.
Yeah. We had a Juan on a Yang, but no Charlie. Page 37. Oh. Green Giant. Andy says, I'm avoiding painting pupils. The whites of eyes are difficult enough in 135. I don't know how some people manage detailed faces. I don't paint them white, is the answer.
And I don't paint them at all, is the answer.
What I do, I mean, I can't show you because my Queen Elizabeth one's in there, but it's on my Facebook page. I paint them pink first and then put a blob of off-white in the middle. So that way then you get the pink in the corner of the eyes. You get the white-ish colour because whites are never pure white. And then you just do the little dots for the colours in the middle, and especially 135.
Yeah, when I get round to doing my Battle of Britain figure, pilot figure, I might have to seriously look at doing some eyes.
What I also do as well is put a little bit of UV resin, especially on the busts. You put a little bit of UV resin over the eyes and cure it, so it gives the eyes a shine.
So for a minute there, you said you'd put UV resin on Queen Elizabeth's bust. That's very damaged. Shouldn't you be put in the Tower of London for that?
I think you probably would be, yeah.
Oh, come on, ICM. You've made these sprue connection points too narrow.
What the deuce? Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
The only way I can get these off is to do what you're told not to do.
Yeah.
And to quote the song, I've got to wiggle it just a little bit. Why do they do that?
Alan says, Jim, 90? Wow. Yeah. They soon build up.
I wish I could get 90. Get to 90. Kit-wise. How many have I got up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Unstarted.
Yeah.
Unstarted then, right.
Unstarted. Kits, you've got about 30. Unstarted, you've got 1. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Now you're just showing off. Not everyone can count to 5.
7, 8. 9. 10. 11 unstarted kits.
Nice. And you'll soon have 12.
I have, however, got 4 waiting to go into primer.
Yes.
So three waiting to go into primer. The Model T, the Krankenpanzerwagen, the 109. I've really got to get a grip on myself.
Jim says, like Mikey said, they build up fast. Yeah, they do.
You need a Marion to stop that from happening.
Gary says, complain to Valeria about the sprue gates. Her response will start with, of course, ICM kits are not intended for beginners. I know, I've been told it a few times.
If you think I would ever complain to Valeria.
The thing is, right, they say they're not meant for beginners, right? But it's not beginners that are making these complaints. If it was beginners, they'd just be going, I'm not going to build their kits again. The people that are actually going out of the way to make the complaints are people that have got experience with making models, because they're saying, if instead of doing it this way, why don't you do it this way? They're people who understand how it's needed to work.
At the end of the day, my little whinge about the sprue gates was insignificant.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it came off the sprue and didn't break. So
yeah,
I couldn't complain to Valeria.
She'd go, oh yeah, you're the one that was looking at my backside when I bent over. I remember you. You filthy old man.
And for the for the record, I did not do that.
Duty rumor. Do you know what? If you look, these jerry cans actually fit really lovely into the brackets. You can actually take them in and out.
Yeah, I'm now starting to wonder whether my resin ones will. Oh, they do. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh,
now that
you just
look at genuine joy.
Some days when it all comes together, you just think, yes, I can do this modeling shit. And then just like golf, it turns around and bites you in the bum. Eh?
Is there a comma between them or not?
Yeah.
I can do this modeling. Shit. Jim says, Andy, I agree. Face painting 35th or 48th scale figures is something I struggle with. I found it easier to start on doing like 1/10 busts and then just gradually work smaller. Practicing. Oh, shit. Not that I'm a figure painter by any stretch of the imagination, but
it
helped.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen.
I'm barely a modeler by a stretch of the imagination. To be fair. Alright, open that up so that doesn't stick. This is actually going to look pretty cool by the time it's finished. Of course, what that means as well is we don't need to put the jerry cans in to spray it.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Do the jerry cans still drop in if you put H36 in?
H36?
Yeah. The H37 is the bottom of the holder.
Gotcha.
And then
yeah,
H36,
they still fit in.
They still fit in.
Yeah, look, slide out as well.
No, I haven't done that yet, so I'm just about to do that bit. So when I've done H32, but I can't quite see where that's going at the moment.
2 seconds. Boop. Alan says, shame you can't put pictures on here. I'd love to see a picture of all your kits stacked up. 90 kits and make a hell of a stack. You can put pictures on Discord though. But yeah, I tend not to put stash pictures on Discord because there are people that can't afford particularly big stashes, and it's not fair on them.
There are also people that have a wife that complains if you get too many model kits. Just saying.
Yeah. Not that it's a criticism of Marion.
No. How do you think I've survived 41 years of marriage?
By not criticising her openly.
Yeah. By knowing when to keep gobs shut.
Yes. Kaylee says Mike's birthday present that I made him is amazing. Yeah, I'll put a picture of that up later on Discord. She's done a diamond art of a World War One battle scene.
Oh, how nice. I didn't know you could get them.
Yeah, it's 40 by 50 centimetre one. It's huge.
Well done. I have got a diamond art to do of a Spitfire.
Ooh. I found, because I was watching it make them stuff, when you're looking at it close up, it looks okay, but it just looks like a load of dots. The design's been viewed from a distance.
Yeah.
From a distance, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Andy says, I keep my stash in 3 different places so I can't accidentally count them. I've got a unit of shelves in front of my desk that's got loads of stash in. I've got a tall boy wardrobe thing. The cupboard side of that has got all the big kits in. The drawers have got some diorama stuff and 2 drawers full of the little 135 figure kits. Yeah. I've also got kits on a shelf on the corner, kits on a set of shelves against the wall. I've got kits in under the shelf in the living room and kits in the ottoman in the living room.
Well, I've got the offending shelf that viewers will know about above me, full of kits. Yeah. I have another shelf behind me, but that's full of all my diorama stuff that I never use. But that's going to change this year.
Yes, because we have inspired you.
Inspiration.
Yes. Jim says, I could post on Discord, however, they're boxed up in large containers, which would take some time to unpack and stack. Yeah. Like I said, I don't tend to post stuff like that on Discord because it's not fair on people who can't afford big stashes. And it comes across as showing off to me, and I don't do that sort of stuff. Kay says, you can put some in my craft room, Mike, if you like. Thank you very much, darling.
I married the wrong woman.
Well, we've also got in the back bedroom. We've actually got a built-in wardrobe that we don't use, so I might put some shelves in there to put kits in as well.
He's gonna get more kits.
The thing is, right? You've got to reach the UK life expectancy. You've got 22 years left.
All right.
Whereas I've got 44 years, 45 years left.
You're just showing off now.
So I need someone to keep me occupied for the next 45 years. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Honestly. I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, I have this recurring fear now. I had it for several years, that when I think about it, it really does get to me. When I look at my age, there's more behind me than there is in front of me.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. And that is horrible. And I shouldn't think like that. And I know I shouldn't, but I do.
You don't feel like that you're living life now. You feel like you're counting down the clock.
Yeah, I'm literally, without getting morbid and people switch off, it's literally you're in God's waiting room.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that.
It comes to us all eventually. Hopefully.
I'm waiting for it. Some sooner than others. Go on, get it out there.
No. Now that you said it, I'm not saying it. B. Right. B is that one, B31. Andy says, I just bought an annuity, so I need to outlive the actuary's guess of my life expectancy.
That's it. They'll be putting a contract out on you now.
Yeah. See, in the UK, the average life expectancy is 83 years old. So Gary's not got far to go. And his mum's already bought the coffee. His mum's already got it planned. Nigel says, stop talking about age. I'm 70 this year. I feel about 19 mentally, though. I didn't think you were that old. Fair play to you. It's like Julian. You wouldn't think he's a day over 70.
He's not here to defend himself.
That's why I can say it. He's probably listening. He can't respond.
Listening with intent to research.
He's listening just in case Dieter comes up with any more facts that he can try.
Yeah, try and out-fact him.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wallet.
Oi, bring my wallet back here, you tea leaf.
Brought it. I've got money in my wallet.
I've got money in my wallet. Hasta la vista.
Bring it back here, tea leaf.
He's not having any more models. He's got a model here at home called Kaylee.
Bless you.
Can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that.
I'm only messing.
Jim says, age is but a number. You're as old or as young as you think and feel. Well, I think I'm still 20. I feel like I'm 90.
So what you do is you split the difference. So that's about 40 then.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Sorry, 40 years on. So yeah, 60. There you
go. Oh, crap. Well, I am 60. I'm 61. Shit. That's good for me.
The one I've always found funny is the statistic that says that the best age for a relationship or age for a woman. Hang on, let me try and think how to word this.
Because Kaylee's close.
No. The age of a female partner that's most likely to be successful for a man is half the man's age plus 7. Right?
37-year-old I should be with then.
And the thing is, how old am I now?
Oh no, hang on.
That could be why we get on so well.
Hang on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, moving along swiftly.
Yeah. What would that be for you? That 50, 37. Ooh, 18.
None of that here. Thank you very much. Wow.
Nigel says, Jim, when you stop feeling you're old. Stop feeling what? That's the question. Andy says, age shows when you drop a part, crawl on the floor to find it, then struggle to get up. Yeah.
Oh, every day. Every day.
What the hell?
Jim says, we're of the same age, Gary. I have slowed down a wee bit physically, but the spirit to keep moving is still strong. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a saying, the spirit is willing, but the body isn't. Well, isn't.
The body is not.
I always remember when I was 40, we went to our first ever Warner's Hotel. And for those that aren't in the UK, a Warner's Hotel is an adults only no kids hotel. Marion took me there for my 40th birthday, and we were by a long way the youngest people there. And even now, when we go, we have a little running competition with the friends that we go with about how many coffins will they have to deliver the next day, because people are at the age where they're dropping off in the middle of the night and things like that. And then we realise we're talking about people who are of the same age as us.
Sure, I remember going around when I was a youngster with my granddad and my nan. And my granddad, I think he must have been about 60 at the time. And he was going, oh look at all these old bloody coffin dodgers.
I know.
I'm like, Granddad, you're like nearly the same age as them. Looking at it now, he'd have been about your age. So it's that now looking at it, it's like, actually, he's probably right, because it's not that old. They were probably about 20 years older than them.
Anyway, we've got 3 minutes to go.
Yes.
And then he's going to Broughton.
Oh, dear.
I'll go and put the cards in the wall.
Yeah, before you tea leaf.
Do you want me to put my money in my account?
So, as we draw...
Yes. As we draw, the end is near.
We draw to the end of another stream. This one without the...
As we draw towards the end of Gary's life.
Yeah. If we draw
towards the end of Gary's life.
Question is, will I make Telford? That's the question I ask every year.
Oh, don't say that in front of our mutual friend. He nearly didn't not last year, the year before.
Oh, right. Yeah, bless him. Yeah.
Joe says, please stop talking. Come on, what is? There you go. Please stop talking about life expectancy. I'm on my way to doctor's appointment. Sorry, Joe.
You can see the doctor saying, "Oh, Mr. Lee, you're looking slightly depressed today."
Andy says 64 divided by 2 plus 7 equals 39. I knew that maths degree would be useful one day. For working out how long.
He's now gone out looking for a 39-year-old.
Yeah. Nigel says, you're only as old as the woman you feel. Is the wife the wife is a week older than me? Yeah, mine's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, mine's 2 years older.
I love pointing out to her.
Yes. So even though I am of a certain age, I am still a toy boy.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I sometimes do is that I'll sit there and I'll randomly remember. And I'll go, oh, look, you're 40 next year. I go, shut up. Oh, she's just walked in as I was saying that. Now she's looking at me slack-jawed.
Yeah.
Right. That means I keep the wallet.
Right.
Yeah. So there we are. What have we done today then? Well, Matthew, today I've done...
Yes. We put the undercarriage on.
The undercarriage is on. I've done the wishbone, which was easier than it looked. I've also put the towing hitch on, and I think it's a step. I'm not sure. I'm using 3D printed accoutrement for the jerry cans, and I've done the 2 doors, and the jerry cans do slot in and out with no problem. So a much productive day.
Yeah, I've done pretty much the same thing. So yeah, we're at the same stage.
There we go.
Stage 91. What we just done.
Yes, stage 91. Just done 91. The 92 theoretically would be the next stage, but I don't know whether I'm going to do that yet. Well, or have you already done that?
Because I've not done that yet, because it'll make it more difficult to blank off the inside.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So next week, oh my God, we've only got one page left. Well, I've got to go back and fill in the gaps.
Yeah, we've also got to do the wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week we can if you look at 93, part B31, E21 and E56, I'm not sure whether I should put them on before spraying because the angle that it's at with the mudguard, they're going to be inside that angle, aren't they? So
I wouldn't put them on. I would put them on afterwards.
Same with the fire extinguisher B29.
Yeah, I've already painted the fire extinguisher, so I definitely wouldn't put that on.
But then we've got on stage 94, you've got the shovels and things which go on the upper part of the hull.
Yeah.
So they can be sprayed on.
And then it's the lights and sticky out big bumps and bumps, and then it's done. Then it's literally.
Because then once 94 through to 98 is done, we can spray the hull and then just put the other little bits on and do the wheel tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, because are the wheels all one colour or are they different colours?
Well, that's up to you, isn't it?
Because they look, when you look at the painting diagram, I don't know whether you see the wheels there, whether the ones to the rear are darker because they're in shadow.
Yeah. I would probably say so, but what I might do is do camouflage, a little bit of camouflage on them anyway.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just going to look like a solid block of middle stone, isn't it?
Is that what colour the colour is we're doing? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And middle stone. I've got middle stone.
You will have for RF.
Yeah.
And British khaki.
British khaki?
Yeah, for the green.
I don't know whether I've got British khaki.
Well, it's just like a browny green, isn't it?
I've got a khaki.
It's whether it's the brown one.
That just looks brown.
Yeah, that's what colour it is. Khaki
that's
brown.
the colour?
Yeah, khaki brown. That might be a little bit light, but yeah.
Okay.
Jim says, have you painted the interior of the vehicles yet? We have.
We have.
But I've had to mask it off for spraying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim says, I ask because I think I need to formulate a paint plan for the interior of my heart track. Well, hang on. Let's see if I can, before we go, let's see if I can peel this back.
See, I have predominantly left mine in grey, apart from the driver's cab, which is off-white.
Right. If I bring that over here. Right. I've managed to take the masking tape off it. So there's the inside of mine. Because I'm weathering the desert one, I've done the inside of mine middle stone.
Yeah.
That's the inside of it.
Once you've got that top bit of the hull on,
I've done service brown on the seats, so it's like a dark leather brown.
Yeah. Once you've got that top half of the hull on, you don't see a lot.
No.
Considering it's an open top vehicle.
It's
a large.
Rather large beard. There you go.
So there we
that
are.
Answers your question. Yeah.
Another.
Alan says.
Go on.
Yeah. Alan says, have to go, but this was so good. Thank you and goodbye until next time. See you next time, buddy. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Andy says, I had a Metro car key years ago. Jim says, very good. Thanks, Mikey. No problem, buddy. We will be back tomorrow. Yeah. Again, John will be away, but we'll be back with Mr. Evans to do the model team. Yeah.
Which is getting close to the the stage I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah. I think Gary is as well.
The vinaigrette.
Yes. Right. We shall see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. bright and early. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.